The most powerful businesses, the most powerful real estate portfolios, and the most powerful financial strategies take a while. Welcome back to Life Worth Chasing. I'm your host, Chase Maher, and this show is about helping entrepreneurs build their business around their dream lifestyle. Okay, so recently, when this episode comes out, it was probably, a few weeks ago, but in August, I turned 30 years old. Woohoo! Happy birthday to me, right? I'll tell you what, I had set some pretty big goals for myself, my early 20s. I wanted to be a millionaire by 30, and I'm definitely on that path, and I'm close, but I made a lot of mistakes in my mid-20s that if I had some better guidance, if I was more into podcasting, if I was more into reading books and entrepreneurship, that I probably could have avoided. But you know what? I can use those as a learning experience, and it definitely stunted my growth a little bit. But it's all good because at the end of the day, now I'm on this path of just absolute perseverance and absolute determination to not only reach what my goal was at 30, but I have some insane goals for 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20 down the road that maybe I'll talk about another time. So this last year of mine, around the time I turned 29, last year, I was so freaked out by turning 30 that I was like seriously going into depression about how I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. And it just tore me up for 3 or 4 months. And I relied on, my girlfriend, Shay, I relied on a couple friends, some mentors to really pull me out of that. And I just decided in January of this year, hey, this is going to be my year 30, and this is going to be the best year of my life. And I'll tell you what, it has not only been the best year of my life. I made the most money. I've had the most fun. I've had the most freedom. I'm the healthiest. I'm the best shape I've ever been in. But I've also learned the most and reflected the most. And I owe it a lot to just looking at myself in the mirror and owning up to who I am and trying to become and working every day to become the best version of myself. And that is what I set out to be, and everything else will fall into place from that. So that brings me to this episode. I got this idea from Pat Flynn. I can't remember exactly when he did it, but it was something around, how many things or the top 30 or 35, whatever things he learned in his X amount of years on earth. I forget what it was. Pat, shout out to you. Sorry that I don't exactly know the episode or I can't drop it here, but I got the idea from you, brother. So I decided to go with 30 things in 30 years, the top 30 things that I've learned in 30 years on this earth that have not only helped me, but they'll help you. And I want to share them with you. And these are the things that I try to focus on. Did I probably leave some things out? I'm sure I did. Maybe a couple of these things I'm repeating myself. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get started. I broke these down into 3 categories. Shout out to Nicholas Bayerly for implanting this in my brain. But health, wealth, and relationships are the 3 most important things. Health is the number 1 most important thing, then relationships, then wealth. All right? So let's go ahead and get started. Silly old me didn't actually put it health, wealth, relationships first. I got it. A little bit of mindset, I got relationships, I got health, and then I end with business. So it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Number 1, play the long game. So this is probably like one of my favorite things on the list. And the reason why is because so many people are focused on how can I win this like short game? How can I win now so that I can party this weekend? How can I win now so that I don't have to work as hard next month? And it's all about playing the long game. There's something in this world called compound interest, and compound interest is probably the most powerful thing in finance, but it's also the most powerful thing in relationships and in health, not just wealth. And what I mean by that is good relationships take a while to build. A very healthy and fit person takes a while to get there. And the most powerful businesses, the most powerful real estate portfolios, and the most powerful financial strategies take a while. So play the long game. If you have 2 options in front of you and one of them makes you a little bit now, but it can make you massively wealthy in the future, play the long game, stack your chips over time. Number 2, don't dwell on the past. This is something I struggled with a lot in my 20s. if I missed a big sale or I missed a big deal or I wasn't able to party with some friends on a certain night, I would dwell on it for days or weeks or months. It was crazy. And all it did was just stunt my growth for the future. So as soon as you pass that point, don't look back unless you want to take a quick minute to reflect. What could you do differently next time and move forward, because you cannot control or change what's already happened. Number 3, don't get bent out of shape for things that you can't control. All right. So what I mean by this is like, dude, quit acting crazy, going over, breaking your neck or breaking your head over something that you can't control. If you can't control it, just breathe, understand that it's going to happen and move on. All right. So if somebody else does something to you or something happens in a deal and it's out of your control, you can't get frustrated over it, because all you're doing is using your energy on something that you can't even change. Let's direct that focus somewhere else. Number 4, everyone is different, so don't always assume. This was one of my biggest problems when I was a teenager. I thought everybody thought like me. All right. I'm kind of a shark. I'm a closer. I'm a salesperson. I'm a hustler, a hard worker. And I thought everybody thought the same, but come to find out, everybody's different. And a lot of people are more passionate than I am. A lot of people have more patience than I do. And I've learned that I have to accept people for who they are and also work on who I am, and realize that if there were a bunch of sharks like me out there, the world would probably not be as a compassionate and peaceful place. So not only accept people for who they am, but accept that the world needs everybody. The world needs all those personality types. And let's just live with it and move on and be happy about it. Number 5, trust but verify. I don't know, and don't quote me, this might be a Reagan quote, I'm not sure, but it comes down to always be a skeptic. You don't need to be too skeptical, but always be a skeptic. Always look at things with the lens of what's the worst that can happen? What's the risk? What's the upside? Follow the money. Who is gaining from this situation? Am I gaining? Are they gaining? And if you look at everything where you trust people, but you must verify the information, you will make far less mistakes. You'll be far more comfortable sleeping at night, and you will be able to move on knowing that you not only learned from that situation, but you got through something where it worked out for you in the end and you didn't always get burned. So trust but verify. Number 6, headspace is important. Take time for yourself to do absolutely nothing. Okay? So this is when, and it's not absolutely nothing, but the headspace for me is in the sauna. I meditate in the sauna. And when I'm doing hot yoga, I just focus on my breathing. I close my eyes almost the entire time and just listen. And it really helps clear my brain so that I can be more powerful throughout the day. I can think better. I can speak better. And I have less cloud in there. So take time for yourself. Use a meditation app. Go for walks. Do hot yoga. Go in the sauna. Take time for yourself where you're not doing anything but just focusing internally. Like Joe Rogan has that float tank. I'll tell you what, when I have like my man cave and my dope ass house in the future, I'm definitely getting one of those float tanks. Okay, moving into some relationship stuff. Love your family and love your friends, but don't be held back by them. So all of us might have a family member that is holding us back and causing massive amounts of drama. All of us might have a friend that is holding us back and causing massive amounts of drama. Listen, it's okay to always love them, but that doesn't mean you always have to spend your hard-earned time and your delicate and very important energy on them to always fix their problems. If it's constantly you fixing their problems or dealing with their problems and it's not the other way around, then don't be afraid to begin separating yourself from that person. But it's okay to always love them. Okay. Number 8, give, ask. This is very important in sales and building relationships and just being a better human being. And what I mean by this is give twice as much as you ask for something in return. Okay. So do things for other people without expecting anything the first time or the second time, or maybe even the third time. That way, when you do ask for something, you have so much relationship capital built up that it's an easy yes for them and they will go above and beyond for you. Give, ask. Number 9, always try to win, but that doesn't mean that the other person has to lose. And this is something I had to learn. I grew up in sports playing basketball, and I always focused on winning, but I focused on winning in a way that the other person lost. And now in business and in relationships and with my team that I'm building, I'm focused on winning constantly, but I'm focused on other people winning as well. So always focus on winning. Be that closer, be that shark, but it doesn't mean that the person across from you has to lose. Number 10, read more than you watch. So now we're getting into a little bit of some health stuff here, okay? So read more than you watch. Read articles, read books, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts. I'm kind of like lumping all that together in this reading category, but do that more than you just sit and watch TV. Now I'll tell you what, you know, shout out to my girl, or shout out, you know, when I'm laying in bed, I like to watch a little bit of Netflix, or we watch a couple shows together. I'm not one of those maniacs that says never watch TV, never watch a sports game. I love all that stuff, but I try to read, listen to audiobooks, and listen to motivating, self-educating podcasts at least twice as much as I watch. So if I want to watch a half-hour show at night, I want to make sure that I read or listen to something about an hour, hour and a half that day. It just helps balance it out. Number 11, be the best you, not the best them. In this Instagram world and this social media world, we have a major problem where people are focusing on how can they be the version of this person they're following. Okay. I had this issue when I was focusing full time on selling real estate. I wanted to be a luxury real estate agent because of Josh Altman, because of, those British brothers. I thought that was cool. Well, come to find out, like, I didn't really enjoy selling luxury real estate. It wasn't my world. I didn't speak that language. I didn't have that kind of, dedication or etiquette to be in that world. I just thought it was cool. And it threw me into a spiral of chasing after somebody I wasn't. And then when I realized that deep down, I have an investor's mindset. I have a buy low, sell high. I have a sales mindset. I'm a hustler. I'm a shark. I want to build something. That's when I started making this change. And now I'm focusing every day, especially since the beginning of this year, when I got out of that, little realm of that fear of turning 30. I'm focusing on being the best version of myself. And I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in every action that I take. I'm the happiest I've ever been. And I highly recommend you doing the same. Thinking about who's the best version of you 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. And like Ed Milet says, you're chasing every single day after that person, not somebody else. That way, when you come to the end of this thing we call life and you look next to you, you look exactly like the best version of yourself. Powerful stuff. Number 12, don't be afraid to try new things. All right. Somebody else's experience isn't always going to be yours. So this comes with all kinds of things like traveling, different types of experiences, different type of sports, maybe psychedelics or trying some marijuana or whatever it may be. Just because somebody else had an awful experience or even a great experience doesn't mean that that's going to be your experience. And so we only live one life. All right. I don't know what you believe, but I believe we only live one life. And so at the end of the day, I'm all about experiences and traveling. And I want to try almost everything as long as it's not damaging to my health. So do some research, try it. Maybe you'll enjoy it. Maybe you won't, but at least you gave it a shot. All right. Number 13, travel early and often. I see far too many people say that, oh, my 20s and my 30s are for hustling. I'll travel later. I think that's so backwards. Why can't we integrate? Why can't we hustle now and travel at the same time? So travel early and often, change things up, get immersed in culture. And I promise you, you will have a much better outlook on the things that are going on in your own country, in your own life, in your own family, because you've seen how others do it. And just because you might, grow up in the country that you think is the best country in the world, has the best political system, the best healthcare, whatever, I promise you, you start seeing how other people do things and you'll start taking bits and pieces of these other cultures that you like, and you'll start really formatting who you want to be and who you aspire to be. So get out of that shell, get out of that box, travel early and often, and, make some money on the way. We can do all of that. Trust me. All right. Number 14, we're starting to get into some health stuff. Treat your body like a Ferrari, not a diesel truck. Okay. So I was fortunate to grow up in a fairly healthy family. We always kind of were pretty health conscious. But, ever since I moved to San Diego, I started just getting more and more and more health conscious. I mean, it's hard not to. You look around, there's gorgeous people everywhere, men and women everywhere that are just, built like gods and goddesses and eating healthy. The food out here is incredible. And so it really instilled this mindset to just treat my body like a Ferrari, not a diesel truck. Okay. Like number one was play the long game, focus on longevity when you're eating. All right. So lately I've been getting into, the intermittent fasting and staying disciplined, not snacking super late at night, watching the counts of sugar. You don't got to be a psycho about it, but just start treating your body better and you will feel better. You will have more energy. You will be able to get more done. Number 15, work out at least 3 to 4 days a week and mix it up. All right. So weight training, hot yoga, surfing, going for walks, hitting the heavy bag, doing Muay Thai. I try to mix it up. I try to go to the gym. I'm doing it probably 5 or 6 days a week, but at least 3 to 4 days a week. A lot of you people that might be sitting at a desk all day or falling into some depression, ask yourself this. Have you ever seen, maybe one or two, but very rarely, have you ever seen extremely fit, constant gym goer or yoga person or MMA you ever seen them truly depressed when they eat healthy? Usually not. Usually the people that are depressed are laying in bed all day. And, causation might not be a correlation, but I truly believe that there's something to that. So get outside, exercise minimum 3 to 4 days a week. And I promise you, your business and your relationships will be taken to that next level. All right, moving on. Number 16. I think I've mentioned this a few times, but this has been a game changer for me. I've always done this, here and there, maybe once every 3 months here and there for the past 10, 15 years. But lately I've been doing it once or twice a week religiously. And it has I don't want to say like the hyperbole of changed my life, but it has been a huge part of my headspace and mental clarity. And that's doing hot yoga in the mornings, fasted, and just having that body cleanse, that mind cleanse, just really focusing on my breathing and that meditation throughout. So do hot yoga. All right. There's a little app called ClassPass. I'm going to throw the link in the show notes, but grab it. You'll get your first month free and you can try out some yoga studios around you. Personally, I don't like to do the yoga where it's a bunch of woo-saw and a bunch of weird stuff at the end. So I go to Core Power. I do a couple different classes there and it's more like a power flow and it doesn't get weird. So it really fits my taste and I really, really enjoy it. So grab that link in the show notes and grab a first month free. Hopefully you like it. Number 17, lift heavy weights. The 3 of the 4 days a week, make sure you're lifting heavy weights, moving things around and really challenging your body because as you challenge, you will grow. As you challenge your body, as you challenge your mind, it all works together. You will grow. All right. Number 18, drink plenty of water and focus on getting plenty of sleep. Now, I know I'm getting redundant and you're probably like, Chase, I want to get to the business stuff and it's coming. I promise you. But these things are more important than the business things because if your relationships and your health aren't locked in and tied up, you might be really good at business for a couple years, but you will burn out. And there's a reason why I haven't burnt out because I'm focusing on, I'm focusing on the other dimensions of my life so that I can be a full and execute at a high level. All right. So drinking plenty of water. I'm talking drinking so much that you're pissing once an hour and getting plenty of sleep. Sleep is so important. All right. I know that rap lyric, sleep is the cousin of death, but I don't believe in that whatsoever. I love listening to podcasts on Joe Rogan's podcast, Dr. Rhonda Patrick's podcast, talking about how important sleep is and how you can show up and show out in the business world by getting that plenty of sleep. So don't overstate that. It's all about playing the long game. All right. And I promise you, sleep is not for wussies. Number 19, before we get into the business, this is the very last one of the most important. And I say this to everybody that I talk to. Get out in the sun. Go for walks in the sun. All right. That is the natural cure for depression that we were given, and it's free. Get out in the sun more. Get outside more. Smell that fresh air and go for a walk in the sun. And I've never met anybody that went for a walk in the sun and was pissed off afterwards. It's just something about it makes us happy. All right. Let's get into the business ones. That's probably why you're here, right? Number 20. People are power, and they're more important than the best systems. I've hired people before that were just not that talented. And no matter how good my systems were, they always held me back. And then lately, I've got such good people on my team that even when the systems aren't firing perfectly, these people take it to the next level. People are power and they're better than systems. Remember that, okay? Number 21, invest your profits into your business and into assets. So there's a lot of people out there that might run, a good little six-figure business, but they're probably holding on to their income and holding on to their profits like the world's about to end. Hey, you got to spend that money, put that money back in to the system and focus on getting a return on that. So invest it back into your business, invest it back into assets, and don't worry in the beginning about tracking every little cent. I know in a couple I'm going to contradict this, but in the beginning, you got to just test things. So just throw it at a few things, throw it at some marketing, throw it at, some better and more talented people and see what works for you and then double down on what's working. All right. Number 22, be sure that your income rises 5 times what your expenses rise. So a lot of people start making more money, they start spending more money. And that's the wrong mindset because then you can never get ahead in life. So I do the 5-to-1 rule. I focus on my income rising 5 times greater than my expenses. And then eventually I get to the point where I'll be living so comfortably, I'll be able to make that, to 10-to-1, 20-to-1. But in the beginning, live on that 5-to-1 rule. Number 23, no consumer debt. If you can't pay cash for the car, if you can't pay cash for whatever you would need to run your credit card on, then don't do it because that 16 to 18% interest will eat you alive. It'll put you in a hole that is extremely difficult to get out of. So no consumer debt. Pay cash unless it gives you a return on your investment. Then you can take out smart money. You can take out a smart loan, all right, what we call good debt, and make some money on that arbitrage. All right. Number 24, use credit cards intelligently. So I run everything on a credit card. All my personal expenses go on one card, all my business expenses on another card, and I have automatic payment at the end of the month to clear that off so I never hit the late fees. I get to travel for free. I get all kinds of stuff from free. I get tons of cash back. I could probably live on just the cash back alone. So use credit cards intelligently. So don't take the no consumer debt and completely throw away your credit card. Just be smart with it. All right. Number 25, be an expert in one of the following 3 categories: communications, creativity, technical. So focus on your skill set, what comes natural to you, and double down on being the expert in one of these 3 fields. Communications would be like public speaking, writing, sales. Creative would be like design, creating music, creating artwork. And then technical would be like, coding or building software. So focus on what are you a natural at? All right, I got this from Naval. And then pick one of those fields and double, triple, quadruple down on it and be the best that you can be at it. And then the other categories, don't try to save money and just do everything yourself. Hire experts for those categories as well. Number 26, what you focus on expands. A jack of all trades is a master of nothing. So kind of in line with number 25, with pick one of those fields to be an expert in, and then focus on it and let it expand greater and greater and greater. I see, funny story. There's an agent that I've been working on a deal with, my team and I on a deal with lately. And she's an agent, she's a photographer, she's an appraiser, she's all these things. And, that's great. But you can't scale trying to do so many things at once within the same business, and you get too busy and bogged down and everything kind of teeter-totters. Like this one will go up 1 degree, then this one will go up, then this one will go up, then this one will go up. But when you become an expert at something, you can move fast, you can move direct, and you can be known for being the best at that. And then you hire experts and people that are the best at the other fields, and you can move so much faster. All right, number 27, set goals so big they scare the shit out of you. All right. A lot of the goals that I set for me to be when I was 30 that I didn't hit we're like 6 or 7 months into my 30th year and I've already hit them. And those were goals that I gave my first 30 years of my life to hit. So set goals so big that they scare the shit out of you, because you would rather, and I would rather, fail at a freaking high level than pass on a goal that was so easy and then I start coasting and taking my foot off the gas. So don't be afraid to fail big time. Number 28, invest in self-education, courses, masterminds, books, anything that's going to improve upon your life. But don't get carried away with it and become one of those people that are like, I think me and my buddy called it classroom Carrie or classroom Charles, whatever you want to say, where like they're always learning and they're just trying to learn. And all it is just a crutch. It's a vice for not taking action. So be sure to strike that balance of learning and becoming better, but putting it into action. Don't be afraid to put that learning on hold and go take action. Don't be afraid to wind back on the action and start learning. So don't be a classroom Carrie. Number 29, track every dollar. Track every dollar that you spend in your personal life and in your business life and try to find that return. It might not always be a monetary return. You might have a return on happiness, but track every dollar. Don't get carried away just because you're making more money that you don't need to follow your expenses, okay? We have to fix all the leaks in our bucket before we can start pouring more water in. So track every dollar. And number 30 things in 30 years is almost over, and number 30 is no surprise at all. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. Buy more real estate. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to my rant on 30 things in 30 years. I hope you liked it. If you did, shoot me a DM with whichever one was your favorite, or if you want me to clarify, shoot me a DM on like either Twitter or Instagram at I am Chase Maher. Looking forward to the next one. If you said happy birthday in the beginning, I appreciate it. It's been the best year of my life, and I'm looking forward to more. Cheers. Thanks for listening to Life Worth Chasing with me, your host, Chase Maher. If you like the show, smash that subscribe button. Leave me a rate and review. You know what? Screenshot the show, share it on Instagram, tag me at I am Chase Maher, and I'll repost it. There's hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and you've made the decision to listen to mine, which is so cool. I'll see you on the next show.